Hello, everyone. Jose J. Garcia with Garcia Home University here. So, Sunday coaching series continues. We got a very good call for y'all. I'm going to mute a couple of people as you're coming on. Like I said, as you're coming on, if you can mute yourself just so we can avoid background noise. During this call, if you do have a question, just drop a comment, raise your hand, or unmute yourself. We'll get into that. The topic for this evening is insurance. Something that I think gets neglected, ignored, and not as many people take it as serious as you should. And we're going to hear from an insurance agent here in a minute why we should be insuring it for one, and things to look for, reasons why, and just a lot of specifics on that. We've used the insurance for a while because I've been investing for quite a bit here. And whether you're renting them out, you're flipping them, they're in rehab, you have to have insurance. There's not really a way around that. There's a lot of things that can say. One thing about it is life happens. Unfortunates happen, and you don't want to get caught with something like that. Well, I should have got insurance on a mobile home. And when you talk about the numbers, the expenses, it's in part of the investment period. So, you should not go without. But let's get started on first, because I want to say this is about the 30th Sunday that we've done at this point, 30th coaching Sunday. We started with this more like a trial. We were going to do a 7-week, then we were going to restart it kind of thing and go over the same topics. And then we kind of started playing around with it, asking y'all what y'all's feedback on the above, and what do y'all think? Should we just carry on different topics? And since then, we've just kind of carried on. That's what y'all decided on. We've had part managers come on here and speak. We've had, I think, handyman contractors maybe. I don't know. We had quite a bit of calls. I got a lot more of these coaching calls coming. But overall, these have become a very good coaching series. For us, for y'all, great questions y'all email me on, because this is what keeps me going. It is a question. So, and one thing I always say is ask a question. There's no dumb question that you can ask. A lot of times when I first got started investing, I was in a room full of this was Fortune Builders, by the way, at the time, and I was so green that I didn't even know what people were talking about. So I could not come up with a question because I've never heard a lot of these things. But the one thing for sure was questions that people were asking that caught my attention more and more. So I always say, ask questions, because you could be answering a lot of people's questions they don't even have yet. Don't hesitate that, and drop it on the comments if you don't want to say it. But let's go over some of these topics we've covered since then, and then we're going to get into insurance. So when you think about mobile homes investing, there's many exit strategies that you can come up with. You can be a wholesaler, bird dog connector. You can flip them, rent to own, finance them, many. Now, one thing about it is, you have to know a lot of this always goes in hand with the numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know if you have a good investment. Okay. A lot of people get into mobile home investing and then come out to realize, I overpaid. That's one of the biggest things I hear is always, I paid too much for my mobile home. I didn't know how much I could pay. So that goes into the MAO section, maximum allowed offer. And again, it's always, do you know the numbers? Most investors, when they tell me this, that's the reason. They did not know the numbers, so they did not know what to offer. If a seller is asking 10,000, example, is asking 10,000 for a mobile home, and you decided to offer 7 because there was a reduction, that suddenly made it a good deal. That's not the case. Now, certain markets, that would have been a phenomenal deal even at 10,000. But in your market, maybe not so much again. And the numbers, you can't give me the first one to come up with the equation of what's the maximum allowed offer, explains everything to me. So some of those numbers we'll get into. But there's proper steps that you have to take, and that's kind of what we built this coaching series for you all, is to walk you through those steps from your very first investment, your second, third, or additional. There is no investor here the same. There's no deal the same. Some of y'all are coming in here well educated. Some of you even do real estate. So, you may already understand a lot of what I'm talking on here. But for those of you that have never done a deal, this will be most productive. So one of the first things that we taught you was how to get deals. A lot of people still tell me the same thing. There is no more deals out there. I would say you don't know how to find them, and you have not been to my Let's Do Deals calls, because they're everywhere. There's so many deals. Okay. Now, the best of deals are going to be much like real estate, off-market deals. Those are the ones I want to teach you to do. If it's already on the market, and by the market, I mean Facebook market, the Craigslist, Let Go. A lot of these are what I'm mentioning is the same place where we look for everything. Mobile homes, we don't have the luxury of Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, MLS, FMLS, all these sites. We don't have that. Okay. So we use different sites. They're free though. So that's a good plus to us. Facebook Marketplace would be much like MLS to real estate. We blast a lot on there, but if you see it on there, odds are it's not so good of a deal, or it's not going to last if it's a good deal for one. But if everybody's seeing it and nobody's taking it, there is something off with that. Now, a lot of times it could just take negotiation skills. Okay. If you see a property there and it's sitting, much like MLS, if it's been on here for a month, 2 months, it may be a good time to reach out. Okay. So when it comes to mobile homes, however, we have 3 different type of sellers. We have a park owner, park manager, and a direct seller, meaning somebody who lives in a mobile home. One thing about it is they all think their mobile home is worth the most. And this is why you need to learn to talk to mobile home sellers, regardless of who it may be. One of them is very easy to talk to. They understand things from a business point, from a numbers point, and that is a park owner. Park manager is probably the toughest one to deal with. I hope there's no park manager on here. They're the toughest to deal with. A lot of times you have to come in and make them understand what you're trying to do. It's a concept that you're trying to get them to understand, and follow up is key. Okay. And then you have the direct sellers, like we mentioned. So if you have a direct seller, it is all about negotiation, is getting them to understand their distress level, of course. But we taught you all those steps into what you should say. And then again, we're back to making offers. Okay. If they accept your first offer on the first try, you offer too much. Do not find yourself jumping up and down. You made one offer and they took it. You offer too much. Funny, I said that. I offered one offer this past week and they took it on the first try. Now, mine is a good deal. So that kind of caught my attention that, wow, I could have offered less. But you know what? It's a good deal. I offered a good number. It made it a win-win. Got one more deal on the sheet, whatever. But I didn't over offer. But it did kind of struck me. Wow, there it is, kind of thing. So, one thing to keep in mind. But the maximum allowed offer, you have got to understand numbers when it comes to mobile home investing. Everything is a backwards game with mobile homes. Again, we don't have places where we can comp. It's all legwork. Get out there, make some phone calls, talk to residents, and figure out what the last thing that's sold in the past 30, 60, 90 days. Start with mobile homes that are ARV, after repair value, move-in readies. And from there, you simply subtract so that you can figure out what you can pay. The numbers that you have to know from the market numbers that I always speak about are the lot rents, rental rates, ARVs, move-in readies. I can go into a whole coaching in that. That's not what this call is on. I can definitely touch up on. We've taught you how to do documents. When you're dealing with mobile homes, you're not dealing with real property. This is not real estate, not unless it's a park in itself or it has land parcel with the mobile home. Then it's a package, and it does include real estate. If it's an individual mobile home, you are dealing with personal property, much like a car, boat, motorcycle. Okay. The closing, the documents are very differently, but you still have to do due diligence. You still have to check and make sure that everything is accordingly. Hiring contractors, one of the toughest, and I see a couple of real estate investors on here. I should bring them up for this one here. Hiring contractors is one of the toughest tasks, whether you're in real estate or mobile homes. We taught you how to do that, how to hire them. We've had a couple of setbacks ourselves this year with, not the most fortunate, and things happen, unfortunately. You're going to have good contractors for a little while. They up and leave you. Sometimes you don't even get an answer, but how to hire them, how to hold them accountable, how to pay them is the biggest thing. Okay, because it could be you maybe who's triggering the wrong ideas here, red flags that you missed. So we showed you how to hire contractors, how to go after them, where to advertise for them. And then, of course, the exit strategy. When it comes to exit strategy, I've heard many investors go in, they take the deal, they start rehabbing, and they do everything they should, and they wait till the end. And okay, I don't know if I want to rent it or flip it. You shouldn't have even gotten an investment unless you knew the exit strategy from the get-go. And again, I'm back to numbers. Okay, because one exit strategy may work in every market, but not all exit strategies work in every market. So some markets you may go in, the only thing you can or should be doing is wholesaling. So why you have a property that you're rehabbing is beyond me, unless you're going to be a landlord for quite a bit of time to come before you can get your money back. We focus on ROIs, returns on your investments, heavily, and the numbers have to check out. So you have to pay attention to the exit strategy before you go into the investment itself. That being said, moving forward, knowing your numbers, again, rentals, rent-to-owns, finance, flipping them, wholesaling them. There's nothing wrong with any of them. They're all avenues that make you money. Okay. But looking forward. Okay. You do have a property or you're looking to get a mobile home. You're going to be rehabbing it. You're going to put it on the market. You're going to be a landlord. You're going to rent it on, whatever. Things change. Many times I'll start with a mobile home that I want wholesale. That in my mind, this is a wholesale. Let's go ahead and lock it up kind of thing. And the more I look at it, the more I like it because it looks more like a rent to own. Well, the profits are there. The numbers are there. It doesn't have a whole lot of rehab. I can come in 7, 8 days, maybe a week time. A contracting can be done and we can go to put it on the market. So we keep it. So that allows for it. But again, I know what my exit strategies are and I stick to markets that allow for multiple just in case I change my mind for the good, right? But all right. We got a property, we're going to invest in it. So we need many things to go hand in hand with the contractor, material, the list, the due diligence, the numbers, etc. Insurance. Something that a lot of people ignore is insurance. I don't want to get it. It's too expensive. I don't think I need it. I'm not going to be in here long enough. The list goes on and it's all excuses. But at the end of the day, if something happens, like life happens, and you get stuck with a mobile home that suddenly you were halfway through rehab, it caught on fire or a tree fell on it, a tornado came by, I don't know, life happens. Then what? Where are you at this point? Because you invested in the property, you invested X amount of money on whatever you're going to do to it, or you did do to it, and now you're left without anything. Okay. We have on here a licensed insurance counselor with us tonight. Jessica, can you hear us?
Yeah. How you guys doing tonight?
So Jessica
All
here,
right.
I actually met her at the North Point RIA, where I was asked to come and speak as a guest about a couple weeks ago, I think. She approached me and started talking about this insurance, which I love insurance. And we kind of hit it off on that, hey, let's bring you on to our Sunday series here and let's get you to answer a lot of these questions. Not to mention, a lot of, I see some investors on here, I've given you numbers that we use. There's nothing wrong with the insurance that I've given you, but they're out of California. Jessica here is local. For those of you that are out of Georgia, she is local, and I'm sure she loved to answer every one of y'all's questions on here. So, Jessica, tell us a little bit about yourself there, if you don't mind.
Okay, guys. So I'm an independent agent. I've been doing this for about the past 10 years now. I got my insurance counselor license. So that just means that, I'm one step ahead of what an agent is. And I've been doing this, and from what I'm hearing, that you guys are more into like the rehabbing for the mobile home. So just as what Jay was describing, is that the type of coverage that you guys would need would be called a builder's risk policy, and it could either be a single project, one-shot policy, for either residential, commercial property, and then you got your reporting form, which is if you got multiple properties that you're going to be rebuilding. Or if you're just wanting to insure the supplies itself, meaning that, you can either do two ways, either insure the supplies from what you're using to rebuild the home, or you can actually rebuild the structure itself if it were to catch on fire, the tornado comes through, or any other type of peril that, just like Joe was saying, natural disaster or whatever. Like, from what I'm understanding is that there's two types of the mobile homes coverages that purchasing out to where you're going to like be a landlord type per se. You're going to need the general liability, which is going to cover for your third party liability exposure. If one of your tenants, they had a dog or whatever, and they were to sue them, or for any type of property damage or bodily injury that a third party got injured from, and if you're legally liable for that, then that's where you're going to cover yourself in that aspect. So it's pretty much just whatever it is that you're trying to do. If you're just doing one individual lots per se, or actually thinking the bigger picture, which is owning a trailer home, and if you're actually purchasing the assets, which is the mobile homes itself, then you'll either need to start, deciding if you want to insure those assets on an actual cash value or replacement cost. So like a lot of this lingo that I'm talking about is, pretty much just however you're wanting to insure, your assets. And it's just back to, every case is different. It's, whatever it is that you're trying to do per se on your project, then I can be able to guide you on what's going to be the best route to, insure in all aspects of this project that you're going with. So just like Jay was saying, is that I'm local. I've been out here in Atlanta. I run an agency chain for property and casualty, so it's pretty much anything from commercial, personal insurance, personal auto, home, auto, landlord policies, you name it, man. I've been doing it. I write with several markets. I got Hartford, Nationwide, Foremost, which a lot of the policies for mobile homes, Foremost is a top competitive carrier, which I think you guys come across with. And the third party that Jay had mentioned, I have seen them. They're another general agent. They're like a wholesale broker type deal that they usually write their products through a company called Lloyd's, which is cool. I mean, Lloyd's is, it's a general lines, but, if you're actually wanting, a better rate and something that's competitive, then that's where I come out, and I just need that opportunity to gain your business, to quote it. And then from there, we just proceed in exactly what is it that would be the best route for you guys.
Okay, I got few questions here for you, Jessica. Thank you for that. Let me see. So, is having insurance on a mobile home mandatory in Georgia at this time?
I mean, it's all depends on back to the lender. So if someone is purchasing a mobile home and is using a loan per se, then yes, the lender will want to insure their asset. So mobile home insurance is required to cover that asset. But if you own it flat out, you don't necessarily need to have it unless the actual landlord itself, like the lot owner, is asking you to carry some sort of type of coverage for the property itself.
So still an option.
But as an insurance agent, I'm always supposed to tell you it's best to always have yourself covered,
Oh, absolutely. No, and that's what we push for also, GMHU here, is that it's not an option. I mean, you're trying to save, and we're going to get into numbers here a little bit, but it is not worth trying to gamble, because that's what you're doing. You take a property, you're investing, you're rehabbing, and suddenly that's your way of saving money is by not putting insurance. That's a bad day. So you're asking for one of those. What is the cost on insurance on average for a mobile home?
Okay, so like if it's, let's just say the unit's less than 25,000, usually you can like about $400, $300 to $400 for the whole year. And I see here that someone mentioned if I can quote in Texas, and yes, I have my non-residence license in Texas, so we can be able to provide that for you. Now, I do know, I think Texas is more a flood zone type per se, so you may, depending on the area, you may need to have some sort of flood insurance policy to cover that parcel as well.
So that would change differently as well. Absolutely. Same for Florida. I imagine down near close to the beach, when you have that.
And, Florida, especially, like with the wind type of per se, the wind and hail, you definitely need to have those type of coverages to cover in those type of aspects. Like, do you have a lot of investors that's doing more of Southeast type region, or are you guys just basically doing your work here in Georgia?
Yeah, so the majority are here in this area, but I mean, we ourselves, we're all over. So even Texas, California, I mean, the deals are everywhere. So more so insight on this. But here, let me throw that back at y'all. She said $300 to $400 on average for a mobile home a year. That equivals to around $33 a month. Again, is that something that you see as saving or taking a risk? That's the way I put it. Is you saving $33 makes you feel better and sleep better at night? Go for it, but you're risking on that. Now, polish specifically, obviously, like you mentioned, and there's different ones. And yeah, of course, it depends if you're closer to the beach, closer to areas where, of course, tornado, hurricanes, that sort of thing. That takes an account. I get that. But the policies, you do have specific policies for somebody who's only investing in it for the time being that they're getting at rehab. Is that something y'all offer?
Yeah, so for those policies, when you're saying for the rehab, that's going to be your builder's risk and as well packaged into the landlord account. Because again, you're really, as a landlord per se, you're just trying to ensure that if that piece of parcel or property burns down to the ground, you want to ensure that you have either the actual cash value or the replacement cost of that parcel, including with the materials and the supplies for it as well.
Okay. Now, worst case scenario, something does happen, God forbid, but we are insured. A tree does fall on it or a hurricane takes it away, places it in another lot for us. What is the process typically to go through insurance at that point?
Okay, so since that's more like a claim related, right?
Okay.
So every company has their own procedure when it comes to claims, but usually like the steps is that if a tree falls on your property, you're supposed to go ahead and take the necessary steps of, number one, you gotta take photos to show, okay, this is the damages that occurred. Number two, you have to try your best to, protect the asset from, from additional exposures that may occur from that. And then the third is obviously, notifying your insurance company and just processing through the claim. And like I said, foremost, I have Nationwide, Hartford. I know they're really reputable, that they'll proceed with your claim immediately. But then, push comes to shove, if you're wanting the lowest rate possible, then when it comes to the claims per se, then that's where, it can be convoluted, because, lowest price doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best quality insurance that you want to cover your assets.
Absolutely. Get what you pay for, I suppose. So we understand there's deductibles as well, I guess, like any insurance with a car, boat, motorcycle, like we say. Tell us a little bit about that, the deductible and how that works.
Okay, so your standard deductible to cover like any damages on your parcel, it can range anywhere from, from no deductible, 250, 500, 1,000, depending, whatever it is. The lower the deductible, if there's no deductible, the higher the premium. But if you have a higher deductible, then you'll end up with a lower premium. But again, it's whatever you're able to pay out at the time of the claim, out of pocket, prior to the insurance company, processing your claim and, getting you guys indemnified back to whole,
Okay. How hard is it for an investor to get insurance on his or her property, her mobile home?
It's not hard at all. It's not hard unless there's, excessive claims, like if, there's back-to-back claims because they're going to run some sort of like clue report, but it's not hard at all. I mean, again, if one market shuts you down, I got other markets to put you with. So pretty much I'm the one-stop shop to get you any type of coverage, whatever company we have to put you with.
Okay. Awesome. Let me look through the chat here and see if I know I got some questions, so I want to bounce these off of you. Those of you that are looking for insurance, again, Jessica here is local if you're in the Georgia area, and if not, no, you do cover outside of Georgia as well, or is that just within the state?
Yeah, so I have a general agent that I can write through anywhere. Burns and Wilcox, they're major nationwide, so they write in the 50 states, so I can write through anywhere.
There you go. Okay. Phil says, what is the average cost of insurance? I think we answered that already. For insight, can you quote in Texas?
Yes, okay. Sorry, Jay.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I can quote. I have my non-resident license there. We do have a couple of markets, especially since I do a lot of the car insurance, like the car lots as well, and commercial properties out in there. So I definitely can work on trying to get you guys covered in Texas. I just know that they have more of like a flood zone type per se, so you will need to have some sort of flood coverage as well.
Lone Star State is covered. Got it. Insurance, yes. Can you provide insurance nationwide? Yes, you can. For fix and flip, is it reasonable to do just builder's risk and cancel after I sell the property? Good question.
I mean, you can absolutely. Once the property per se or the closing has been done, yes, you're more than welcome to cancel the policy, and any prorated difference will be returned back to you.
Absolutely. Foremost is charging me way too much. Okay. Just goes number.
I got you covered. If you don't want Foremost, I got another company for you.
Paperwork. What type of paperwork you need for the insurance for rehab?
Not really paperwork, just basic. If you're gonna do it as a sole proprietor or under a business name, the amount of like, the rehab, whether it's gonna be a difference of like 20, 50, 100,000, and it's, back to like just the modifications, whatever you want to insure, either just the parcel or if you want to insure the supplies. It's two different items, or we can do both.
Okay. See, and what is the situation for insurance during rehab? I'm moving questions around. Example, during rehab, if something happened and rehab is not complete. Well, there's insurance there. For whoever asked, this is more of a personal question, so it came to me directly. But I mean, during the rehab, so and that's what I was saying. You have insurance. You've got to have insurance no matter what on the property. You know, if you're a landlord, you should be supplying insurance on that mobile home. If you sold it and you're now financing it, you're playing quotations, banking away, there still has to be insurance, whether you supply it for the buyer and they just pay you whatever the policy is, or they supply it themselves and they pay it. Insurance has to be on that property no matter what at all times. Glad you have someone other than foremost. Thank you, Bill. Jessica, why don't you go ahead? I told you I'd get you business tonight. Go ahead and drop your number on the comment section.
Okay.
Everybody's asking for it. I was going to tell these people, no. Is it best to put in an LLC name just in case some? Is it best to put in it in an LLC name just in case someone wants to sue? That's more a question maybe for me. And yeah, so Prim, you never want to put any mobile home in your direct name. I mean, you should create LLCs and put X amount of LLCs, X amount of mobile homes per LLC. Now, I'm not an attorney. I cannot give you legal advice. Any information I provide is for educational purposes only. But yes, please have an LLC. And I actually have a real estate person here that may want to jump on. We'll let that option for him. Let's see. Any more questions? Okay. All right, we have Jessica here for about 3 to 5 more minutes tops. So any more questions, this would be the perfect time. I mean, different policies, why you need it again. And, you know, again, like I said earlier, getting started, it should not be an option, even though it is. The state of Georgia does not make it a mandatory thing yet. I would say that you as an investor, investing wisely, looking after your investment, you know, that's not something you should be looking at it as an option. Get insurance, $33 a month. I mean, come on. Okay. Anybody else? Jessica, anything else you want to add to, or?
I mean, for anybody you guys want, you know, just send me like your phone numbers and emails, and I'll personally reach out to you. You know, but if you want, I can go ahead and give you my number right now over the phone. I mean, over here, this little Zoom meeting, and also I can give you my email address as well. So my phone number is 678-520-4296. And the email that I have is going to be commercial INS at A plus, the plus is spelled out, financial.biz with Z as in zebra. And yeah, just like how Jay is saying, you know, just like the insurance should be a cost of your operations, of your overhead. So, you know, just definitely like go ahead and include that into, you know, your bid amount or whatever is going to be your cost of your rehab, because it is a necessary component to, you know, just ensure that, you know, what you're doing and whatever you're trying to make out from, you know, this whole flip with the mobile homes, that you guys are not just, you know, out of pocket at the final state when everything just burns down to the ground. So just like how Jay was saying, it's just something that needs to be built into your cost of your overhead.
Overall, she's saying, listen to Jay. That's what she's saying. So yes, let's do that. All right. So a couple things on that. We will, I know a lot of y'all are asking that. Her information is on the comment section there. We will put it too for my GMHU admin if we can. Let's add her information to the email for tomorrow that gets sent out. If you're not part of our email database yet, please send us your email. j@garciamhu.com. I'm sure it'll get posted on the comment section as well. We will put on Jessica's information on there as moving forward. We'll probably start doing that as well, just so all y'all can have the information. The recording will start playing tomorrow morning, and I'll go ahead and put the information on there as well. So Jessica, you're about to get your phone ringing, no doubt. Good. And awesome having you on here for sure. What do y'all guys think? Is she awesome or what? I knew this would be a good call tonight. So a couple advertisements for you, okay, before we go. So we have the shadow event that is coming along. That's August 21st. Jessica, I may talk to you about that one. We may ask you to see if you can come in person and attend with us. So I'll give you more information on that. But the shadow event is where we go physically to mobile home parks. We will either be in Dublin or Macon. And what we do is we take it's about a 4 or 5 hour event where we take you in and outside of mobile homes, some that are being rehab, pre-rehab, and post-rehab. Okay, you'll be able to ask any and every question, as we'll also walk you through step by step how to get your first, second, third, or next deal. We'll have contractors, handymen there talking. We'll have park managers, maybe Jessica talking insurance, and maybe a park owner as well. So it's a pretty good event that we have coming up August 21st. Put it on your books, okay? That's a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. We will put a little bit more details closer to time, but if you want to sign up, I think it's $197 listed on our website. Any of y'all that want to sign up from here, send us an email. We can let you in for only $99. You can't beat that. The education, everything you get. And some of the people that I see on here, you've already attended the event, so y'all know what I'm talking about. Next weekend, next Saturday, second Saturday of every month, we have a network. Right now is being held. It's an event that I actually took over. It is currently being held at Taco Mac in Beaufort, Georgia. The details will be also on our social media. And that's nothing more than a networking event. I don't know how many of those I'll be able to do personally. I've even thought about doing maybe Zoom at the time. I don't know. Still debating on that. But as of now, here it is again for the month of August, and we most likely will be holding it there at Taco Mac. I've asked for suggestions. If y'all want me to do it somewhere else closer to y'all want to invite us to your mobile home, I'm sure we can have a networking event there as well. So y'all give me tips, ideas. This is how I operate. So that's coming up next Saturday. The Saturday after that is when the shadow event is coming up. And then don't forget Tuesday night at 7 p.m. we have Let's Do Deals. That's where we present deals, and we have a lot of deals to present to y'all. Okay, so we look forward for all y'all to definitely join us on each and every call. If you're not part of our database, like I said, send us your email. We can add you. Then you'll get heads up on every event coming up, coaching event, etc. Love to have you part of that as well. Any last questions for Jessica here while we have her? Thought I saw a couple comments. I don't think there was any questions. Okay, the information for Taco Mac is also listed on the comments there for y'all to get. And like I said, it gets posted on our social media, so we'll be sure to do that. But all right, if nothing more, Instagram, we're going to go ahead and let you go at this time. And Zoom, everyone, thank you. Jessica, thank you for joining us, ma'am.
Yeah, no problem. See you guys there in the next one.
All righty, everybody have a good night.
Take care.